I am currently on board a boat that's taking me to Antarctica. I am sailing with a company called Atlas Ocean Voyages, and they are a very new company actually. Their first cruises began in 2021, I believe, and the ship that I'm currently on is called the World Voyager, and this month of November 2023 is the first month that this particular ship has gone out on these voyages. This ship is so beautiful and sparkly and shiny, and it looks new and fresh and just delicious. I simply have to show you around it. As soon as I got here, I filmed a room tour because it looked all fresh and shiny.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is Mike, your cruise director. At 2 o'clock, we have a lecture with Jean Rock, Homo Exploratus Antarctica, the last continent.
Okay, anyway, as soon as I got here, I filmed a room tour, so I'm gonna show you that. It's the room when it looked all nice and fresh and I didn't have jackets and luggage in here yet. And then we're gonna go on a little tour of the ship. So I am super excited to show you this beautiful ship that is currently taking a group of people to Antarctica. It's a pretty small ship. It has a capacity of about 170 passengers, and then I think around that same amount of crew. The voyage that I am currently on only has about 115 passengers on it, so super small, intimate experience. If you're new here, my name's Camilla. I'm 25 years old, and I usually live in Atlanta, Georgia, but right now I live on the ocean. This is the coolest thing ever. So let's get to showing you around. Okay, just got to the room, and I figured now is probably the best time to do a room tour because this is the best it's ever gonna look. Already have luggage in here that's gonna just keep cluttering it up, and I'm gonna start unpacking in a second, so might as well give you a little room tour now while it looks pretty pristine. But this room is actually gorgeous. So here I am at the door. Okay, so here's the door that you walk in through. No duh. And then you have the key card for the electricity. Turns it on and off. These are some lights within the cabin. And then we'll get to the bathroom in a second because that's just so gorgeous. But we have life vests that we'll actually have to use for an emergency drill in a little while. And then the next door, we have some closet space. You can do your laundry here, but that's an extra fee, but you can put stuff in a laundry bag and they'll do your laundry for you. And then closet space, which is great. A good amount of closet space, and then one more little corner with a little bit more closet space and some slippers. Here is the beautiful room. And this is a pretty basic level of room, and it is so pretty, but you really can see it all from just this angle. So here is the bed, obviously. Here's me. But this mirror is such a nice touch because I feel like it makes it look a lot bigger in here. I don't know. Just the finishing of this cabin too. Like this wood, this light wood is really nice. Then there's these hooks as well up here. Could hang coats on there or something. And then a nice little side table with some drawer storage. A phone, not sure what that's gonna call, I guess reception. And then some bedside water, which is awesome. Some lights, and then a little reading light. Super nice. Complimentary reusable water bottles. Love that. Moving on to this side, same stuff. Complimentary water, some switches. Actually, I haven't seen any American USB ports yet. Oh wait, okay, never mind, found some. But then there's this tiny little, like, not even a love seat, like a large seat area. Then, perhaps what I'm the most excited for, this desk area is actually basically the whole mini bar, mini fridge area. So, in the mini fridge, so far, I have some beer in there, and then Coke, Sprite, juice. I don't really drink any of that, but maybe we can switch it out for some different stuff. It's all complimentary, which is cool. And then that's just my vitamin greens powder. You can get complimentary like breakfast whenever you want. Confirmed that there are some American 110 volt USB ports and also these things. And then it covers up quite beautifully, which is so nice. Then this is what I was probably the most excited for, is a Nespresso coffee machine. And they also have a hot water kettle and your coffee that you can just make in the room. Super easy. And then there's also other places that you can get coffee or tea on the boat, which is so nice. Here is the balcony, which we are obviously docked right now, but oh gosh, I can do it. Oh. That was difficult, but here it is. It is a little bit rainy right now. Yeah, nice. Hopefully it'll be nice to just like get some cozy, warm clothes on and like sit on the balcony. I didn't even show you this coffee table, but this coffee table is so nice. It's just so pretty. Just all of the touches are very impressive. I feel like that's a pretty random photo, but I thought this coffee table was really pretty. Now for potentially the main event is the bathroom, because for a cruise boat, especially this is such a small boat, this bathroom is huge. Here is the bathroom. How do I do this? Let's see. So, beautiful shower, first of all, and then it's just this like marble tile everywhere. Got some hooks here, but look, rainwater shower head, and then plus we've got this thing this thing as well, and then they have shampoo, conditioner, shower gel from L'Occitane. Not sure if that's the right thing. Oh gosh, there's more like shower heads over here. Wow. Okay, fancy. And there's even a little seat. There's a seat in this shower. That's amazing. Like, can you tell how large this is? It's very impressive. Close this so we have more space. And the big robe reveal. So there are just some nice little complimentary robes, and then towels. Oh, cool. I didn't notice this before. This is like storage area for your toiletries. That's nice. And then right by the sink, there's more storage here, more storage under the sink, and more storage over here. And then the trash can, it's kind of fun, is a drawer. I thought that was pretty smart. I guess that's the room tour. Okay, so that's the room tour. This is incredible. This is so nice, but I feel like they've gotten so creative with all of the storage options, and I am just so excited. Like, obviously I was 10,000 times excited for Antarctica. Now I'm excited just to like be able to hang out in this room and on this beautiful boat, which I've only been in one room so far. Okay, sorry about the flickering lights. Yeah, that is the room. I'm obsessed. I'm in love. I'm gonna start unpacking. I figure if you're getting a tour of the ship, you might as well get a tour of the icebergs that we're seeing too, so. So this is actually the same iceberg that you saw in the beginning of my last video. If you happen to see that video, it was my first full day in Antarctica video. If you didn't see it, I encourage you to check it out. But it's time to begin the ship tour, and just a little information first. This ship has 8 levels, and the first floor that's open to passengers is level 3. So we're gonna start at the bottom and make our way up. So starting on deck 3, the main thing that most people would use this floor for was the mudroom, which you would come down these stairs, or there also was an elevator to get down here. There also are some staterooms on this level, but the majority of staterooms are on floors 5 and 6. So we are now entering the mudroom area, also called the expedition room, and whenever there were any expeditions, this is where we would head down to change into our parka, life jacket, and boots that the boat provided us with, and then anything that we needed to leave in our lockers, we could leave them there. But each stateroom has its own assigned locker. This is where we would come before all of our expeditions. And whenever we were actually going to go out on the Zodiacs, this is where they would let the stairs down and open up the side of the boat, and that is where we would exit the boat from. And they also had a nice little bathroom down here in the mudroom area. Okay, and that is it for the 3rd floor. Then moving on to the 4th floor, this is the level where you could find the vast majority of the ship's public spaces. So this first space that we're walking through is the Atlas Lounge, which always would have the most beautiful views, as you can see out of this window right now. And one of the bars was located in this lounge area. And there were a lot of things that would happen in this lounge. There would usually be a piano hour before or after dinner with the ship's piano player. They had tea times every day at 4 p.m., no matter if the ship was at sea or in Antarctica. And then if you continued to go towards the front of the ship, the very front of the ship held the auditorium where we would have multiple lectures, mostly on our sea days, but every day we also would come in here to get a recap of what we did that day in Antarctica and also what we could expect to hopefully do the next day, weather and all other elements allowing. Heading in the opposite direction, this is starting to go towards the back of the ship. There is this lobby area that I'm walking through right now, and that was just the reception desk, just if you ever needed anything. And again, more little areas to sit throughout the ship, more beautiful views. Then to my right were office areas for the expedition leader and the cruise director. And then this area was Paula's pantry, but we'll get back to that after we go through the fitness studio first. Just a brief little look because there were people using it, but it was nice to have this option on the boat and I got to use it a few times. And apologies for the flashing lights. The light frequencies or something did not like my phone camera, but it was a nice little amenity to have. Okay, and then here is Paula's pantry. This was a little coffee shop per se. They had a bunch of espresso beverages, juices, pastries, and snacks that you could grab if you were in between meals. Everything was complimentary, of course. And then this is entering the spa area. This part of the spa was where anyone could go, even if you didn't have an appointment booked or anything. But the main focus of this area was the beautiful sauna, which I did use once. It was very nice. And then the rest of the area is just space for you to relax and enjoy the views and shower off after the sauna also if you wanted to. And then to get to the other part of the spa, you had to go out and around, and I never actually entered this area because I never booked a massage or anything like that, but it was an option if you ever wanted to book a massage or other spa services. They had this area and I assume some rooms or whatnot. Also on this level was the gift shop, and it was closed when I was doing this tour, but I went back in later. In my opinion, I didn't think the gift shop was that great. Honestly, a lot of things were really overpriced, especially the clothing, and basically everything had some sort of Atlas Ocean Voyages logo on it. Most of it was not anything that I was very excited about, but you know, that's not the focus of the trip, so that's okay. We'll let it slide, but they could improve the selection in the gift shop, if I'm being honest. And then heading towards the very back of the boat was where the dining hall was. There was also some public restrooms down here, woohoo. But this is the main dining area. And this is where all of the meals were served. All 3 meals a day were in this room, but you also had the option to order room service for any meal. 24-hour room service, that is, also. And I personally never ended up doing that. I just actually really enjoyed going to the dining room. It was a nice experience, but breakfast and lunch were always buffet style, and then dinner was a regular sit-down dinner service type of style. They had on this back porch area some more seating, which I think they use more so for their warmer expeditions and not the ones to Antarctica, but it also was closed at the time that I filmed this because the Drake Passage was crazy, so we could not go out on any of the porches. There is also a medical center on deck 4. And then moving up to deck 5, this is where my personal stateroom was. And if you went towards the front of the ship, there is actually this area called the water's edge. But first you would have to pass through the most gorgeous cruise ship hallway you've probably ever seen. I thought it was very impressive. So then when you get to the water's edge, and hello, this is me, you would have to pass through multiple doors, but this was just one of the places that you could go outside and be at the front of the boat and get some really incredible views. And because this water's edge area was so close to my stateroom, it was my personal favorite place to go out to the front of the boat. It was my favorite deck to enjoy the front of the boat views on. The day that I filmed this part of the video, we were starting to sail away from Antarctica, so there weren't crazy impressive views at this particular moment. The audio was also awful, but they did have heated benches here, and that is what I was saying in that moment, but you couldn't really hear what I was saying. So yes, water's edge, beautiful, peaceful area. And then if you were to walk from the front of the boat to the back of the boat on the 5th level, you would pass a bunch of staterooms and eventually get to this back deck area, which I actually almost never used it because I didn't even realize it was there for a while. But apparently it's called this Zephyr Lounge or something. I was like, oh, okay, I didn't really know that. But it was another beautiful view that I just wasn't really fully aware of. And yeah, I didn't take full advantage of this deck, but that's because I was on some other beautiful decks anyway. They had a small amount of seating. And then as you can see, there is a set of stairs that you can actually walk up to and go to the exact same type of thing on the 6th level. So it is just another deck that you can walk out on, enjoy some views. It did seem like this cruise line does go on a bunch of different types of voyages all over the world, so I assume that when they're not in Antarctica, these open decks would be a lot of fun for socializing and stuff like that when it's not 30 degrees outside. And again, we are on the 6th floor, so if you head from the back of the boat towards the front of the boat, you'll pass through the other majority of staterooms and head towards the bridge. Now, the bridge on this boat was a closed bridge most of the time, but they did one time on the way to Antarctica allow the passengers to come to the bridge if they wanted to look around and see the captain and their team at work. And so that was a cool little fun time, and I was able to get some shots of the bridge while I was there this one day. Okay, and now heading up to the 7th floor, which is the last deck that was indoors at least. There were a couple of fun things on this level, one of which being the observation lounge, which was called the Dome. Public restrooms to the left again, but heading in, it was this really cool, almost 360, well, not really 360 at all, but I guess you could say 180 degrees view of whatever the boat was passing by at this time. But there was another bar up here as well. And every day at 11 p.m., there would be a quote-unquote late night in the Dome event on the schedule. Now, that was really just the fact that the Dome was open and you could get a drink up late night if you wanted to, because the bar downstairs would have closed by then. But my favorite thing about it is that you could watch the beautiful views inside and be warm, but then if something really cool was happening, you could run outside onto this top deck, and once again, the front of the boat. So great front of the boat views. And we were heading towards Deception Island at this point in our trip, so that is what you see in the distance. Then heading back away from that front boat area, there was actually a pool area, which was open to use, surprisingly enough. So the pool and the hot tubs were open to use at this time, and they do also have this outdoor shower to shower off before or after you use the facilities. And it was actually really nice. I loved being in the hot tub and being nice and warm and cozy in the hot tub while it was a little bit chilly outside. It was definitely a popular area on the boat and lots of people took advantage of it. The swimming pool itself was heated as well, obviously not as hot as the hot tubs, but it was a warm swimming pool, so that is good. As you can see, all of the furniture on this deck was strapped down, and that is because the actual pool lounge area, they have this whole grill out here. None of that was really open because we were going to Antarctica. Once again, I think they would use this on their trips that are going to warmer areas. But yeah, it sounds like there is a pool, bar, and grill that does exist and could be open at certain times of the year. So then heading up to the 8th deck, this deck is entirely outdoors, and that is because it is mainly just the running track, or you know, you can get great views once again, 360 degrees of what is going on the ship at that time. This is also the Zodiac storage area, so both sides of the boat had, I think, 6 Zodiacs on each side. Some kayaks were up here at the time that I was filming this as well. Again, I tried to talk to the camera, but it was a little bit windy. And there was a helicopter pad up here on the 8th deck as well. Not sure why, but the Zodiac boats are how we would actually get from the ship to shore when we were doing landings in Antarctica, and also is how we would go on Zodiac cruises sometimes. So sometimes instead of doing a landing on Antarctica, we would go on a little boat ride in those Zodiacs and just get up close to the wildlife. So also up here on this track, there were a few random outdoor fitness equipment type of things. There were some of the smaller lifeboats as well. There were larger lifeboats, I believe on either deck 5 or deck 6. I can't remember for sure now that I'm editing this video, but they definitely had 2 much larger lifeboats than these ones that you'll see up here as well. You're actually seeing now the dome, which is why that room downstairs on deck 7 was even called the dome. There was a dome in the middle of it, and I did a poor job of showing you that. But you could see the sky through that dome. And I'm just gonna go ahead and speed you up a little bit through the rest of deck 8. Okay, so I guess that is it for this boat tour and room tour. I ended up having to film the boat tour over a couple of different days, so things might look a little different sometimes, or they might not, but just because when the boat was moving, sometimes it was hard to, and then whenever the boat wasn't moving, I was usually busy playing on Antarctica, so it was hard to get in a ship tour when the boat was actually stagnant. But I hope you enjoyed it and that it gave you a little bit more insight into what an expedition ship might look like that goes to Antarctica. And this one, again, is brand new, definitely on the swankier side, but honestly, this whole experience, by now, it's like my last day here, has been amazing. I would do it again and again and again, over and over if I could. Honestly, I would totally recommend this company if you yourself are wanting to look into an Antarctic cruise expedition vacation. Again, I'm on a ship by a company called Atlas Ocean Voyages. Not sponsored at all, but I just feel like they honestly deserve a shout out because this trip has been really amazing, very well put together. The staff is just incredible, and the deals that they're doing right now also is just very impressive. I never thought that I would be able to explore Antarctica because most of the voyages that I'd ever seen were upwards of $20,000. So this one is much less than that. It's much more affordable. I didn't even think it was real when I first saw it, and I just felt like it deserves a shout out because it's incredible. Anyway, that is it for this video. I really hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you again next time in Antarctica. Bye.